Thank you so much. Welcome to ImagineUI, your expert design assistant. I'm really excited to share this with you today. Let me describe what the problem to solve here is. To put it very simply, good design is really hard, and everybody uses it, from students to marketers to professionals giving presentations like this one to job seekers. Everybody uses visual design layout in some way. I've got two use cases that are real. Right now in Cottonwood, Arizona, there's a small business owner who bought and purchased and launched a website, but isn't totally happy with it right now, and he can't exactly describe why not or what he wants. This would help with that. For myself, I do have some background in design, but as a creative, the hardest place to start is a blank page. And so with this, I can start putting ideas down and start seeing real things come back that I can use and work with. With design, more effort leads to more quality. So there are enterprise teams that can put days, weeks, or months into the design process and incorporate all kinds of different exercises along that way to refine their ideas. This could be another tool for them. So this could be a tool for beginning or a tool for refinement that applies to every level of experience, from beginner to professional. The goal here of using this is to find inspiration for new ideas, to clarify our branding goals, to get expert design advice, to look at particulars and details and how we can improve them. We can produce shareable materials with other designers, and we can have fun. Sometimes for me, the hardest thing is knowing what you want, and using this with your design can help you clarify what that is, what you like, and what you don't like. So with that in mind, introducing the CSS Zen Garden. This was one of my original inspirations for getting into web development many years ago. This is a pretty old site, started around the mid 2000s as a way of showcasing the power of CSS design. So this is a one-page site with the same exact HTML for 221 designs that show how radically different you can make the same site, changing nothing but the styling. Their contributions are from over 20 years, so this is a great way to look at different kinds of web design and how they can be executed. So to do that, first I start by scraping the site for some information. I used a headless browser called Playwright.
I'll be right back.
Which will go through and capture the ID of the page, the URL, a desktop screenshot, a mobile screenshot, and then the full CSS file. And all of this gets saved into a JSON file. So then the interesting part is then the analyzer. So I started with ChatGPT GPT 4.0, but Claude 3.7 Sonnet is a little bit better at the softer sides of associations and creativity and that sort of thing. So for the second data set in my analyzer, I had Claude 3.7 go through and analyze everything with a pretty detailed professional web design evaluation. That gets output in JSON format as a series of different lists and descriptions that can be consumed by other AIs to use this in applications. So we combine this with the scraped data and we get documents for my vector database. So from there, I set up this simple RAG agent, lane graph out of the box agent that uses tools. I use a vector database for the documents with a retriever as a tool in the tool belt. We launch that to a very simple chainlit UI interface for the chatbot, and that is hosted on Hugging Face Spaces. So some limitations on this. The chainlit UI is a little buggy. The version I'm on right now doesn't have a weighting indicator, and you're gonna see that can make users a little nervous. The streaming gets a little weird with lane graph, so you would want a better response than what we have, something more responsive, but chainlit is not the ideal solution for this. Hallucinations are always an issue with AI applications, and even though the analyst is specifically instructed not to look at the text, it tends to think that every design is in some way related to CSS Zen Garden and is minimalist and Asian inspired. So some of them kind of have that in as data pollution. It's also unclear why sometimes the retriever produces results that don't seem to match, and the designer will agree, this doesn't really match what you're looking for, but let's discuss how, and we can still learn out of that. So with that in mind, let's check it out. You can see we come in and it asks us what kind of design we're looking for. I would like to see two designs that show radically different design approaches. Please include links and explain their features. This is going to take a moment because what it now does is it will summarize the entire conversation that I've had, create a prompt out of that, and then use the prompt to search the database for examples that match this. So here's what it gave us. It gave us The Question Why by Diane Clayton View. Let's take a look at that real quickly. And it highlights this for, whoops, that's the wrong one. Highlights this for a bold industrial brutalist approach. That's very interesting. Whereas the other one is No Frontiers, and in stark contrast, this one has a serene, elegant, and nature-themed design. Let's look at that. So yes, this is a radically different approach to web design from what we see from this one in terms of the style and the feel. So from here, you can read about the details of like what makes these designs work or not work. You can give it specific instructions of what you're trying to design and iterate over the results that are returned as to whether they do or don't fit what you're looking for. And through that, you can learn a lot about design and see a lot of really cool different designs from over the years in the process. So the future roadmap for this, there are other design tools out there that are very robust and very powerful. If you're looking for these professionally, V0 is really great for discussing upfront and for full project management. Replit, I'm very impressed with right now for creating the entire code base from start to finish, including the design aspects. For designers specifically, UIZard or Wizard or whatever is a good application for using AI to create designs and design elements. So you can create, this is a very robust, like professional solution for designers. But what none of these do is to the ZSS Zen Garden. This to me is actually a little piece of history. We're at the point where web design is actually a topic of historical study. And this is a data set of designs from over 20 years. And I think this has appeal for educational and historical purposes. And so in the next version of this, I intend to make this the Zen Garden Curator, give it a little more of a Zen personality to the designer in the way that it discusses, give it a little, more robust UI than the chain-lit out-of-the-box solution, and really hone this in on something that nobody else is going to do, which is to showcase the history of CSS design in the Zen Garden. And through that, of course, we can learn all kinds of things about design, and we can apply this to our own projects. The other thing I'm going to do is finish the design analysis data set and then make that publicly available for other AI projects, because I think the data set is very valuable. Other people won't want to recreate it, but other design agents will be able to incorporate this and consume the data for training purposes. I think that's going to be really helpful. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to use the app and have fun with it. I'll be happy to take your questions.